Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between. Jack Boy's got a sports show, and you are tuning in to that sports show. I'm going to try to talk a little softer. I turned down the mic sensitivity a little bit because I realize that a lot of the times my microphone is peaking while recording this. So it makes it sound like, my fault. It sounds like that a lot. So I'm trying to fix that, trying to get better, you know, work in progress, but we're making it. Like I said, Jackie Boy's got a sports show, and you were tuning into that sports show. Yesterday, we had a little episode regarding my wedding, and we're back on sports today. So let's just get right into it. We just got a couple stories that I want to cover regarding this past week. And of course, tomorrow we will have the prediction podcast. And let's start off with what happened yesterday. NBA tip off: the Warriors fell at home to the Phoenix Suns 108 to 104. And the Nuggets beat the Lakers, I believe, like 117 to 109. Crowd chanting, "Who's your daddy?" It was a fun night. Good basketball, right? And I was actually conflicted because, NBA tip off was last night. The Canucks were playing the Nashville Predators. Unfortunate name. And of course, I'm a Nashville Predators fan. And Game 7 of the NLCS was last night. There was a lot of sports last night to be watched. Of course, I picked to watch Game 7, and then I watched the Phoenix Suns and Warriors, and I watched some of the Predators until they went down 3-1. But good day of sports yesterday. Very good day of sports yesterday. The World Series, or Game 7 of the NLCS, 4-2. Diamondbacks took the lead, I believe, in the fifth inning. Just never gave it back. Their pitching is phenomenal. Of course, full prediction on how the World Series is going to look tomorrow. Of course, it's not going to be, spoiler. It's not going to be incredibly informed. I'm not a big baseball person. I do love baseball though, especially these playoffs. The games I've tuned into are phenomenal, and I got to say this: the real draw of baseball is the tension. I don't think there's a single sport that does tension better than baseball. The next sport that comes close to it is probably basketball, right? But I do something about like full count, runners on second and third, or maybe a full count with bases loaded, and that pitcher's just slowly winding up to throw that next pitch. You are on the edge of your seat. Crowd chanting. Dude, it was so cool to see the Philadelphia crowd rocking. They were rocking until the very end. Great atmosphere. Like I said, the Diamondbacks going back to the World Series for the first time in 22 years, facing the Texas Rangers, in which, if y'all saw or heard, I wanted the Texas Rangers to win the World Series in general. I think that they have a very, very tough matchup against the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think they would have beaten the Phillies fairly easy, but I don't know. I don't know. The Diamondbacks are very good. So that's what I got to say about the World Series until the prediction episode tomorrow. And let's get into some stories that caught my eye that I want to talk about. First one is Kareem Jackson. Kareem Jackson, I believe he's either a safety or a corner. We'll just say DB for the Denver Broncos. Suspended 4 games for the hit on Luke Musgrave this past Sunday. And that suspension has been dropped from 4 to 2. Now, I had a little rant about this on TikTok about how the flag should not be thrown in that situation. And he shouldn't be suspended. The only case you may have is like defenseless receiver, right? But Luke Musgrave got up. He was jumping up and down on the sideline. He was hyped up when Kareem Jackson got a penalty for it, and he was hyped up when Kareem Jackson got thrown for it. He was standing, he was jumping, and he went back into the game. Luke Musgrave was fine. And it's not like he didn't see Kareem Jackson coming. He did. It's not like Kareem Jackson hit him on the helmet. He didn't. He hit him in the shoulder, right? And it wasn't like it was before the catch or during the catch. It was after the catch that Kareem Jackson hit him. It is a clean hit. You can argue defenseless receiver. I'll hear you out on it. But I still think that it is a completely clean hit that Kareem Jackson laid on Luke Musgrave this past Sunday. It just is. It's a clean football play. And we got to have this conversation. I'm all for player safety. I'm not one of those dumb hillbillies that thinks if your brain is not tofu pudding by the time you retire. I'm not one of those dumb hillbillies who think, no, that's just football. That's just football. You forget your granddaughter's name and you shit yourself every time the microwave comes on. That's just football, dog. You knew what you were getting into. I'm not one of those guys, but I am one of those guys that will admit to you this is a violent sport. And no matter how many times, no matter how many precautions we put in place to make it less violent, it is still a violent sport. Guys are crashing into each other at 35 miles per hour. Not quite that fast, but you get it. And it's about instincts. Kareem Jackson was expecting Luke Musgrave to catch that ball, turn, so he was going to pop it. There's nothing malicious about that hit, and there's nothing Kareem Jackson could have done to not hit him, unless you just ask Kareem Jackson to not do his job. And I know we're moving towards an NFL that's just going to be 7-on-7. That's what it really looks like. But oh my God, I just big hits are a part of the game. Big hits are a part of the game. Yes, we should do everything in our power to make sure players are safe, but also we should do that while at the same time not asking impossible things out of the defense. I'm going to make a video later today on roughing the passer. It really needs to be changed. It really needs to be changed. The joke of the league is if you don't like tuck the quarterback in and read him a bedtime story, you're getting a roughing the passer. Yeah, it's a funny little joke, but now it's just annoying that a guy just shoves the quarterback a second after he throws it and he gets flagged for roughing the passer and the team gets 15 yards. And someone tried to argue with me yesterday, well, they know the rules. That doesn't mean the rule isn't bullshit. That doesn't mean that people take advantage of the rule all the fucking time. Yes, they know the rule. That doesn't change the fact that the rule is bullshit. A light whiff on the quarterback. If you honestly look me in the face, and I distinctly remember AFC Championship, Patriots Chiefs, the first one that was hosted in Arrowhead, the first one that Patrick Mahomes was in, when the Patriots got 15 yards because someone just bopped Brady on the head. Not with his helmet, right? Just a little tap on the head with his hand, and they called roughing the passer. Are you fucking kidding me? Roughing the passer should be, yeah, late hit on the quarterback. Absolutely. You're going too low on the quarterback? Sure. But just a little shove? Just a little tap? Are you kidding me? Oh my God, dude. But yeah, that's what I think. This is a violent sport. It should be treated as a violent sport. I'm all for player safety, but once it starts getting into the realm of you're asking the defense to do impossible things and you're asking the defense to not do their job that they have been taught to do, now we're getting out of line. People gotta think of the defense. Just think of the defense for once. I know the offense is the sexy pick. I know the quarterback is the face of the franchise. And I know the offense is what gets tickets, but defense is a part of the game. That's all I got to say. Let's move on to what's going on with the Tennessee Titans. The Titans traded Kevin Byard, I believe, yesterday to the Philadelphia Eagles for a fifth and sixth round pick, as well as safety Terrell Edmonds. And this tells me a couple things. The Titans officially see the team as trash, right? Which they absolutely should. There's no reason the Titans should think they're competitive this year. And because they see that as trash, they're starting the rebuild. And Kevin Byard is an older player. And really, out of respect for him, just let him go. which sucks. He went to MTSU, Middle Tennessee State University. Then he got drafted by the Titans. Seemed like a match made in heaven that he was going to be in Tennessee all his career, and just didn't turn out that way. They asked him to take a pay cut earlier this season. Just, just the situation we're in. We deal another phenomenal player to Philadelphia. It's just how the cards are falling. Philadelphia is getting a great safety to an already great defense, and the Titans get some draft capital in which they're very desperate for, and they get a safety who's going to play fine this season. But the Titans are officially entering rebuild mode, and honestly, I'm waiting on the notification for Derrick Henry to be shipped off to whoever, because it's coming. Derrick Henry is going to be on the move in the next couple days. You can bet on it because they're rebuilding, and they have a running back in Tyjae Spears that they really like. I don't see the use for keeping Derrick Henry around in a business standpoint. In terms of like the franchise, he's got a chance at being the all-time rushing yards leader in franchise history. He's very close to Eddie George, and if he plays out this full season for the Titans, he will pass Eddie George. So maybe you do that, but business-wise, when you're entering a rebuild, you got to think of the team. And what makes sense for the team is shipping off Derrick Henry while he is still valuable. You can still get a second and third for Derrick Henry. You just can. From the Bills, maybe. From, the Steelers might make a little sense, right? I don't know. A lot of people are thinking the Chiefs, maybe. But I see the Chiefs trying to make a move for a receiver. So if we trade anyone to the Chiefs, it'll probably be DeAndre Hopkins. There's a couple teams that could use Derrick Henry that will make the team that much better. And you can get a second and third. And it sucks. It sucks. The Titans were good from like 2019, the end of 2019, and then 2020, and then 2021, they were the first seed in the AFC, and then it just fell apart. Injuries, bad chemistry, guys getting older. It sucks. It felt nice to have a playoff team the past couple seasons. It felt really nice because I grew up with the Titans in the early 2010s, and they sucked. They sucked so bad. So it was nice to have a good team. Another thing happening with the Titans that I want to mention this Sunday, and something that is a bit aggravating, is Ryan Tannehill is hurt. Ryan Tannehill is dealing with an injury, and everything Mike Vrabel says is that when Ryan Tannehill gets healthy, which I think this is a mistake, when Ryan Tannehill gets healthy, he'll be the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. But Sunday, Ryan Tannehill is injured, so they are playing Will Levis and Malik Willis. They are playing Will Levis and Malik Willis. And like I said in the TikTok, when this news came out, the Tennessee Titans really looked at its fan base and said, hey, why ruin the potential of one young quarterback when we can do it for two? Because what are we doing? And it doesn't seem like, oh, we're going to let Malik play for one half and Will Levis play for the other half. No, like in drives, they're going to switch out Malik and Will Levis. Why? Why? Why are we acting like momentum isn't a thing? Why are we acting like that's not important game reps that both quarterbacks need to really grow? Why? I get giving up on Malik, right? Malik did not look that good in his starts last season, right? And he had a shaky preseason. He had a great game 3, but the first 2 games were very shaky. So I get throwing Will Levis out there since you traded up to get him. But this whole like swapping back and forth, you're just going to ruin both quarterbacks. And it's so aggravating. And maybe the Titans are just doing this because they're like, oh, we're going to get, Michael Penix Jr. or Drake May or Cam Ward. We're going to get one of those guys. So let's just like, whatever. Right. Which is a very shitty thing to do. I don't know. It just does not sit right with me. Everything this team is doing is just aggravating me. It's just aggravating me. And this team is just, I'm getting off before I get into any more of a whatever standpoint. Let's talk about Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines, currently ranked number 2 in the country, currently under investigation again. Not for the same thing though, for sign stealing. Now, I'm not going to really touch on like the moral or the cheating aspect of sign stealing. Matt Rule came out and said everybody tries to do it, so it's really not that big of a deal. And I'm not gonna like stand and say, "Oh yeah, Matt Rule's right." I'm not gonna, whatever. Y'all can have your opinions about it. What I do want to say though is this is the second time this year that Michigan is in trouble with the NCAA for doing something, right? Jim Harbaugh was suspended for the first couple of weeks of the season due to a recruiting violation that nobody still real has much clarity on what exactly that recruiting violation is, or at the very least, I cannot find it. But what happens when college coaches start feeling the vice grip of the NCAA? When the NCAA really starts investigating these college coaches, what happens? They leave. Jim Harbaugh has an open door to the NFL. A lot of people are saying he might not just because the NFL is looking for offensive guys and not defensive guys anymore. But Jim Harbaugh is a great coach. Jim Harbaugh, if he went into the coaching pool this offseason, there is a lot of teams that will try to pull Jim Harbaugh. And I'm not saying Jim Harbaugh leaves Michigan for certain. What I am saying is that history shows us, most recently with Pete Carroll, I believe, that when the NCAA starts really looking into everything a college coach is doing, they bail. They hop ship before the ship sinks. They just go. They find another ship. And I don't know. I think being that this is the second investigation that Michigan is under, being that Jim Harbaugh has already been rumored to listen to NFL calls, NFL teams calling him, being that Jim Harbaugh has an open door to the NFL. I don't know if Jim Harbaugh is the coach of the Michigan Wolverines in 2024. Now that's it. That's it for this show. Look out for the prediction podcast tomorrow. I promise I'll try to make this share less squeaky. Jackie Boy's got a sports show. You just tuned into that sports show. Follow me on Twitter at JJester615. Follow the pod at Jackie's Show. JACKIESSHOW. Email me, oldjackieboy1021 at gmail.com. And of course, watch the video version on YouTube. Jackie's got a sports show, and follow me on TikTok, Jackie Boy Sports. Follow me everywhere. Email me, subscribe, follow, rate, and share the show. Love you all. I'll see y'all tomorrow, I guess. Yeah. Thank you.